put on me than most of the others.
Okay, so, and when the project kind of combusted in, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was actually on a specific day that was very crucial in some kind of a time loop.
August 12th.
Like 23rd of August? Is that
August
it?
12th. August 12th.
August 12th. Okay. Yeah. And because for some reason I was also very aware of that. And I don't know whether or not, I was being utilized in that program, but there was some issue that I had also regarding a horse. Do you know about the horse and the symbol of the horse as a trigger?
Well, yeah. Well, I personally didn't see the horse. It was something that Duncan and I believe Al Bielek witnessed when they were sent way into the future at a time when human beings were no longer around, and all they saw in this particular journey was this statue of a horse, which you see, I believe it's on the cover of one of the Montauk books, at least a rendition of it. In the hyperspace symbolism, or I should say in a pictogram symbolism, the horse represents a message or messenger. So there was some message there in this, at that time, be considered an alternate reality, perhaps as a warning of what will happen to mankind if their ways were not changed. At least that's how I interpret that incident.
Okay. But in 1983, were you being utilized up to that point, or were you let go before that?
No, up to that very moment when the project crashed. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, how old were you?
At that point, let me think now. I must have been 27 at that time.
Okay. All right. And through the years, have you met people that perhaps you remember or that were kids at that time that knew, maybe say, I'm sure you get people that coming up to you that say they knew you. Do you recognize them?
Well, quite honestly, Carrie, over the years, I met a lot of people who said they were part of it, but I look at their energy and I don't see that in them. However, and let me just clarify that. There is something called Montauk programming. It's in addition to all the other programming, Green Star, New World Religion, End Times, all that other stuff. There is actually Montauk programming developed at Montauk, which even after the project ended, that program can easily be transmitted by satellite and cell phone tower and microwave tower into the minds of people. They don't have to be at a physical location to receive that programming anymore. So yes, there may be people out there who really do have Montauk programming, but who were not at Montauk.
Sure.
I also need to say, quite honestly, especially in those days, 99% of those who were used in those projects were male, because the energies were used specifically for that kind of an energy. Females were there, but were used specifically for breeding purposes and sexual ritual purposes, not for mind control purposes. So there is a differentiation that I need to delineate there, because so many people at least think they were there, and I have met maybe a handful of people that really were, but the majority were not, but may have programming related to Montauk.
Okay. And were you aware of the Super Soldier program at all?
Yes, of course. That's still in existence,
Right.
And in fact,
we have several people that we've interviewed along those lines, and I'm assuming that, you may not be that familiar with our interviews, but I'm wondering, at what point did you become aware of the Super Soldier program? Was it, in other words, was it birthed at Montauk?
The preliminaries were. That particular project or mind control system was enhanced or fully developed subsequent to Montauk program. You know, Montauk was kind of like the petri dish or laboratory that dabbled in everything to see what would come out at the other end. And from that, they picked or chosen certain projects that they developed fully into other lines, if you will. And of course, there were mind control programs that existed before the Montauk project. Most of what Montauk was about was genetic manipulation, time travel, general mind control and sexual ritual, and even esoteric weaponry, which is also now a very major issue in current times.
Absolutely. Well, Art, have you found, I mean, in other words, you have a lot of knowledge, and clearly you have memories which are fairly accurate, and therefore you would still be of great interest to the government. Do you feel that you're still being utilized? Have you been able to block that? And what's your take on that?
Well, that's also a very good question. And I have spent years since 1983 deprogramming myself. I should really say that deprogramming didn't start till 1989, 1990. But since then, I've been doing intensive deprogramming and have developed deprogramming techniques that I teach others to do in order to unload this from the mind and regain the true self. Yes, the government still tries to tap into me, but now it's more like an attack. They attack us frequently. For example, the last couple of days, a perfect example, destroy my email, block my emails from going out. Very often on radio shows, they cut the lines and the phone goes dead. You know, there's a lot of attacks even trying to trigger me mentally and physically. I've had radiation sickness. I have had microwave pulses shot at me at night where I wake up literally burning like I was in a microwave. Yes, it's a constant, brutal attack. 24/7, it's a war. I am constantly protecting myself, deprogramming, doing detox protocols. You know, it's a 24/7 thing here that never ends. It's like we're on the front lines.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I can certainly relate to that. So what do you feel is coming in the future? Because we have a lot of people that are talking about the future, and you know, with your abilities, you must have gotten some views of the future, downloads, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I will tell you that it's not just from my abilities that I know, but also from what I was told, or what we were all told at Montauk, which all of it has come true point by point from then till now. It's a very large scenario, which we're seeing happening now on so many different angles. They're already started it, and that is a staged alien invasion, where they use the Blue Beam project, which creates multidimensional holographic images in the sky, in your home, in your mind, so that you think Jesus is talking to you, Buddha, Muhammad, what have you. And it talks about the Book of Revelation, the rapture, all of these things, which the Book of Revelation, of course, as you may know and your listeners may know, is a fabrication. It was designed by the Illuminati in the 300 AD by the Piso family, and that script is being brought to fulfillment now. And what we have seen recently in the skies of Norway, over Russia, Canada, all of those are blue beam holographic images projecting asteroids, lights, images, so that people will think that really, the second coming of Christ is here, or that an alien invasion is coming. This alien invasion will look real. They have perfected the holograms so that you can actually pick them up on radar. It can actually produce sounds and tones so that it sounds like there's a attack going on. Then they will have a savior race come to dispel or chase away this